Hello, my beautiful. Did you know that your dreams are speaking to you at any given moment that you have them? So, on the day that I'm putting this out, on the 26th of August, 2025, last night I had a really powerful, very vivid dream. And I remember thinking to myself, this is a message, and not just for me, but for all of us, right? And given the fact that we've just had this really powerful activation of a new moon, which I'm going to talk about in just a moment. And this is the first of a first new moon of two that are going to happen in the same sign. It really feels like the universe is asking us to pay attention at this moment in time. Your dreams right now they're not random. They are, and truth be told, your dreams are never random, right? Even when they are the most random thing ever, they are a roadmap. So I want to talk about a few things here, right? So if you are new to my channel, my name is Raphael. I am an astrologer, tarot reader, numerologist, and energy worker. For those of you that don't know, if you are a continued subby, you know Rafi loves you. And if you want some of that Rafi love and you want to be here in the Radiant Nation, hit that subscribe button. Now, with that said, let's talk about the nature of dreams, right? So, what are dreams? They are an enigmatic part, or should I say, an enigmatic part of being human, but they also act as messengers. And I genuinely believe this. Now, if you've been with me long enough, you know that prophetic dreaming is something that I am hugely interested in. It's something that has been passed down in the lineage of my family. I'm really, really proud of that fact. Even when it's not. So it's a blessing most of the time, but to dream things so intensely and so powerfully very often, sometimes it can be really heavy. And for those of you in my community that are also, we call ourselves the dreamers, but you know what I mean. Like you have the prophetic dreams, the good ones, the really great ones, and also the not good ones. Right, that it can sometimes be a really heavy gift. That being said, I genuinely believe that our dreams are a symbolic communication. And when we're talking about the nature of dreams, and I always say this to people, I genuinely believe that prophetic dreaming, psychic awareness, psychic vision, clairvoyance, all the clairs, they are deeply human phenomena. There's nothing supernatural about them. I really hate that term because it strips away the fact of what human beings and human potential really is. And when we're talking about our dreams, the nature of them, they are weird and wonderful. They're mystical. They are sometimes really practical and they are sometimes really wildly impractical, as you know. Now, the nature of dreams is that they speak to us, right? I genuinely feel as well that we work through our stuff in our dreams, that our dream self is learning and growing and connecting to spirit and interacting with other realms, other dimensions. I genuinely believe that. And I know it to be true because there's been times where, like sometimes when you sleep on something and then you wake up the next day and you're like, ah, I figured it out. It's because you were working on it in your dreams, right? Your brain was doing what it does. And I really feel that the part of us that dreams, like our subconscious, our deep psychic and, mystical makeup, I always have believed that that part of you really is the part of you that accesses magic, the part of you that accesses manifesting, the part of you that connects to the cosmos. It's the part of you that accesses your psychic awareness and gifts. And that leads me really nicely onto the 12th house in astrology, right? So the 12th house, obviously, depending on your rising sign. So if you are new to astrology, you have a sun sign, you have a moon sign, and you have a rising sign. And each one of these can be the same. They can also be wildly different, and they can be combinations of different signs, different elements. Your sun sign is the sign that the sign that the sun was in when you were born. Your moon sign is the sign that the moon was in when you were born. And your rising sign is the sign that was rising on the eastern horizon at the time of your birth, which is one of the reasons that astrologers say that your time of birth, the more accurate your time of birth, the more accurate your birth chart is actually going to be. And then, depending on which house system you use, this is going to tell you what resides in your 12th house. So, if you are an Aries rising, it means that you have a Pisces 12th house. If you are a Taurus rising, it means that you have an Aries 12th house. If you're a Gemini rising, it means you've got Taurus in the 12th. If you're a Cancer rising, it means you've got Gemini in the 12th. If you're a Leo rising, it means you've got Cancer in the am I saying that right? Yes. It means you've got, it means that you, if you're a Leo rising like me, it means you've got Cancer in the 12th house. If you are a Virgo rising, it means you've got Leo in the 12th. If you're a Libra rising, it means that you've got Virgo in the 12th. If you're a Scorpio rising, you've got Libra in the 12th. Sag, you've got Scorpio in the 12th. Capricorn, you've got Sag in the 12th. Aquarius, you've got Capricorn in the 12th. And then Pisces, you will have Aquarius in the 12th, right? So you can see that, like that, the sign before yours, instead of the one after, the sign before yours is always your 12th house. Now, I'm talking about that from a whole sign tropical Western astrology perspective, of course. If you use equal houses or Placidus houses, you're going to have a mixture of, but 9 times out of 10, if you're using Placidus or equal, you're going to have a mixture of two signs in that 12th house for you. Now, that being said, the nature of the 12th house is the hidden. It's the unconscious. It's the place where dreams and spirit dissolve the boundaries to what we know as reality, right? The 12th house, and I have to say this really slowly because sometimes I think it confuses people, but what I mean, I hope I really am able to convey here. The 12th house in your chart is the part of you in which the door that you use to access your magic, your collective wisdom, to connect with the cosmos, to connect with your past ancestors, to connect with spirit, to connect with the universe. Anything that we consider intangible, mystical, spiritual, anything that we consider other resides in the 12th house. It can also be, 12th house, as you know, is also the house of self-undoing, right? The part of where we, as we understand ourselves, or, you know, to get matrix with it for a moment, our residual self-image, it's the part that dissolves all of that and says, no, no, you are actually all of this, right? And you are connected to it. Now, the nature of your 12th house, if you've got Taurus in the 12th, you might be a really practical dreamer. You might feel your dreams like as physical sensations. You might find that you're often dreaming of music and songs. You know, it's Venus ruled after all. You might find that sleep is really important to you, and you know that your dreams take on that very real sort of tangible feel to them. If you've got, say, oh, I don't know, Cancer in the 12th house, there's a deeply psychic, deeply mystical, very intuitive nature to your dreams, right? And so the nature of your 12th house by the sign that occupies that is going to flavor and texture how your dreams speak to you. So knowing this part of yourself, really, really important. And you know, if you've been with me long enough, you know I'm very proud of my Cancer moon. I'm very protective over Cancer energy because it gets a really bad rap. As being just like, you know, the crybabies of the zodiac and stuff. Like, there's so much more to Cancer than that. Anyway, this isn't about me. This is about us as a collective. So when we're talking about this, obviously to move beyond the 12th house and that mystical sort of hidden other space where we connect to the all that is and everything that resides, not just sub in the sublunar realm down here, but in the beyond material, you know, the extraterrestrial, if you like, right? And I don't mean that in an alien sense, even though everything, you know, other to us is alien to a degree. I mean that in the sense of the other, right? It's other than us. It's not tangible. It's not physical. It's other dimensional. It's spiritual. It's mystical. It's profound. It's wise. It's loving. It's kind. It's ferocious. It's dangerous. You know, there's that saying when they say, when you look out into the abyss, sometimes the abyss looks back, right? Which is why they often encourage in all of the mystery schools and the psychic training and stuff, don't play with it, right? If you're going to do it, dedicate yourself to it and work hard at it. And always approach that realm, that mystical, that spiritual space with a sense of reverence, with a sense of awe. But more importantly, even if you can't manage those two, approach it with respect. because I'm telling you now, when they decide to play, we as humans can really feel, the brunt of it. Okay, so, and I'm not saying that to scare you, I'm saying it just because, you know, if you treat people with respect, they tend to treat you with respect in return. The spiritual and the mystical realm, no different. Okay, no different whatsoever. Now, that being said, let's take a moment to consider. And the reason that I'm getting into all of this is because obviously we've just had this really powerful activation of the new moon. It was a new moon at 0 degrees of Virgo. And in literally like what we would consider a lunar month, we're going to have a new moon solar eclipse, a partial, but still an eclipse in the sign of Virgo at 29 degrees. So we've had an activation at the 0 degree. We're about to have an activation at the 29th degree. This is the very start, the very beginning of Virgo, and the very end and the very completion of Virgo. And, that in itself is pretty powerful. And it means that one of these moons is what we consider a black moon, right? Because it's the second new moon in the same sign or lunar month, depending on how you like to look at it. Now, in terms of the lunation cycle, one of the things that I often try to say to people is, th- and if you've been with me long enough, I have a love affair with the moon, right? She is my ultimate. I love Luna. I have since I was a very little boy. My first ever mystical or spiritual or even prophetic dream I had at like 3.5, maybe I think it was about between 3 and 4. And I still remember that dream like it was yesterday. It had such a profound effect on me, and it was actually it was on a night of a full moon, and I remember the dream featuring the full moon. Right, it was really, really powerful. Anyway, and ever since then, I've had this absolute love for the celestial mother that we call Luna. And I genuinely know and believe that human beings and the moon are deeply connected. When you look at our hair growth cycle, it's tied to the moon. When you look at your fingernails, they grow by the moon. When you think about a woman's pregnancy, and this is the way that I always like to describe this because it's such a powerful, vivid sort of way of describing it, right? So now, a new moon is when the sun and the moon come together. The sun representing celestial dad, you've got the moon, celestial mother. They come together, they get busy. What happens? We have conception. That's a new moon. So we know the new moon to be a time where we are planting seeds, right? Where we're sowing and setting our intentions for things that we want, which is one of the reasons I always say to people, if you're going to manifest by the moon, use the corresponding full moon to the new moon cycle. Meaning, if you plant a seed or or set an intention or sow a seed at the time of the Virgo new moon, let's say, 6 months from now, you're going to have a full moon in the sign of Virgo. That's where you get the results, right? So you have the new moon, you're planting the seed. We've got the quarter moon, which comes, next because there's several lunar phases, but the ones that really that we observe that we take sort of note of are these: the new moon, the quarter square, the full moon, and then the quarter moon of release, and then we've got the balsamic where it goes back to new. So the quarter moon is the growing tension, right? It's that gestation really starting to quicken. The full moon is the peak manifestation where Luna pours out all of her energy that she's gathered over the cycle. The next quarter moon is a releasing or a waning quarter moon. It's still an energy of action though, because it's like just like the quarter moon as it's growing is the growing tension. The quarter moon as it's releasing is a time of let's get this finished so that we can prepare for the next cycle. And then the balsamic, which is about surrender, it's about endings and completions because it's the end of the previous cycle so that we've got the beginning of the new one. Now, that being said, dreams in each phase. This is a really important point that I've never really seen anybody discuss at length, and it's something that occurred to me today while I was out on my walk, and I was like, I really need to talk about this because the dream itself that I had was so powerful. And I was thinking back over all the dreams that I've had and all the experiences that I've had, all of the client work that I've done. I actually used to offer a dream weaving session whereby clients would book a session with me and we would talk about their dream. I would pull tarot cards, we'd look at the phase of the moon, all the stuff that was going on. And I had, I did that for probably about a year and a half. It was really popular at the time. I actually don't know why I stopped doing it. It's because, you add so many things to your belt, don't you? And then in the end, you've got like a service list that is as long as your arm. Let me know in the comments if any of you might actually be interested in me bringing that back, right? Because at certain points of life, we have dreams that really leave a mark on us, that make us think really deeply. So, to come back to this, dreams in each phase. When we're dreaming, at what I've observed and what I've sort of noticed through my own dreams and client dreams is the time of the new moon. These dreams are going to tell you what's to come, what's been planted, what you might need to know for the path ahead. It kind of gives you the heads up. It tends to be these are things that you need to know. There'll be messages from spirit, there'll be things that you're going to see on the way, and then you see it in real life, and you're like, holy shit, that was part of my dream, right? The new moon tends to be about those things, right? Things that are coming in, whereas the dreams at the full moon tend to show the full manifestation. They reveal what has emerged in reality, what is going to be tangible, what is real, what's material, what's happening in the here and now. And a phenomena that I have noticed is that for all of the big dreams, the big collective dreams that we have, the tsunamis, the World Trade Center, certain plane crashes, etc., they all seem to correspond to full moons, right? So, and what's really interesting is in astrology, the moon is said to represent we, the people. So isn't it so like amazing and powerful and profound that all of the big stuff that is going to really affect humanity, that multitudes of people dream the same thing from various different accounts. Like you can go and you can read so many people dreamt about the World Trade Center, the Thailand tsunami. I remember dreaming that one. I remember dreaming Fukushima. And it wasn't until 3 months after I was talking to my dad, and we were talking about the dream that I had 3 months prior, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, this is it." Like we broke down all the elements, and we were like, "This is what you were seeing." And that one, maybe one day I'll make like a little mini video, or maybe I'll do like a blog post about it because I remember dreaming that in vivid detail. Like the stuff that and the elements of that dream were like, and I remember thinking like, whoa, and it's yeah. Anyway, so to tie this back into what this is really about, when we're talking about prophetic dreams or collective dreams and around the full moon, this shows us that human beings are deeply tied to not only to lunar cycles, but also to the experiences that are going to shape our lives in the sublunar realm, right? So one of the things that I often try to remind my community of, like you guys, is this isn't just about passive dreaming. It's about working with what your dream energy is telling you and being intentional about it. So I know if I have certain types of dreams, like, and I'll be like really psyched for something, and then I'll have a dream, and like, yeah, and obviously, you have general anxiety dreams, that's a total thing, but you know the difference. You know when something is a message and when something is just kind of like a general anxiety dream. And I've been really, really fortunate in my life that in my households, wherever I've lived, whoever I've lived with, I've always spoken about my dreams and other people's dreams, and we've always been able to talk about them and open them up and decode them. And sometimes they're really heavy, and sometimes it's not nice to see. And a lot of the time they're incredible. And what I really love as well is like when I have dreams about people, and then I'll reach out and be like, "Oh, by the way, you were in my dream last night. This happened." Da, da, da. And they're like, "Oh my God, that's like literally what's happening right now." Lots of these, and sometimes these are people that are literally half the world away from me that I don't speak to every single day. And I don't say this to be like, ooh, look at me, I'm so psychic. I'm saying this because I know I'm not the only person within the Radiant Nation that has this deeply human phenomena. It's a very human thing. And it's, psychic ability is like the ability to run. I can run, but I ain't beating Usain Bolt in no race, right? I have prophetic dreams, and in my family, that's, it's one of the gifts that's a lot stronger for us than it is for most people. That's all. It doesn't make you better than anybody else or any of that stuff. And I often try to say that to people. Now, that being said, if you like this, what I'm talking about now, if you are interested, if you don't know, I send out Monday, Wednesday, and Friday emails. So every week you're going to get me in your inbox, pepping you up, giving you insights to all different things. There's a link in the description box below where you can sign up for that. I have tarot masterclasses that you can check out on my courses tab on my website. There's lots of really interesting stuff. If you want to take your tarot reading to the next level, this is definitely something that you should check out. Now, that being said, I want to talk to you about my most recent dream. So today as I was on my walk, I was checking in with a friend as well, and one of the things that I talked to her was about my dream. So last night, now if you've been with me long enough, you know how often tarot speaks to me. Sometimes I'll be talking to a person and a card will just flash up in my mind. Sometimes I'll see a situation and my brain will just go, oh, yeah, that's that, right? And I often dream tarot cards as well. It's not outside of the realm. However, if you've been with me long enough, you'll know that the High Priestess is one of my ultimate favorite cards. And last night in my dream, she literally stepped off of the card and walked towards me, and she was discoursing. She was telling me things, and I remember in the dream very vividly thinking to myself, shit, Raf, you need to pay attention because this is a really powerful. Look, I got goosebumps just talking about it, right? Ugh. And I remember thinking to myself, like, it was a really humbling dream. It wasn't like I was excited because, this is a pretty big deal. Um, but it was more like like an awe. Like, do I look down? Do I bow? Like, and I need to pay attention. And it was really, really potent. And she stepped forward and she was speaking to me. And then all of a sudden, she picked up this basin, I guess you could call it, and she poured the water out of the basin in front of me, both on my feet and in front of me. And I know what the symbolism of that means for me personally. It's a very, very old custom. Um, and it really, really, like, I remember waking up this morning and I was kind of a bit shook because I was like, whoa. Like, and some of the things that she was saying and the messages, like, it was profound. It was just, yeah, it was really, really powerful. Now, the reason I'm talking about this is because I believe that over the next, let's say, 3 to 6 months, many things are about to start falling away. And I believe the reason that I was shown this and the reason that I was prompted to create this video is because your dreams right now, you're not crazy, right? The dreams that you're having, yes, they might be weird and wonderful and fantastical and all the rest of it, but you are not losing the plot. Your dreams are not mad. They are speaking to you right now in really profound ways. And the beauty of this stuff, whatever you want to call it, is they will use the symbols, the ideas, the concepts that you know that means something to you. That's why they always feel so deeply personal. And at the moment, as a collective, I know your dreams are speaking to you in, look, Goose, right? Like, I know your dreams are speaking to you right now. And even if you can't understand them fully, they are using symbols that you will understand, right? So pay attention and really think about this stuff. When you've got a moment to quietly contemplate something, allow it to just kind of speak to you in some way. All right. Now, that being said, the High Priestess has so many meanings, right? But hidden truths, inner wisdom, your subconscious, your psychic awareness, your intuitive faculty, all trying to speak to you. The High Priestess is also what I like to call hidden things revealed, which means over the next 3 to 6 months, not only are things going to be falling away, but your own intuition is going to start skyrocketing. So you better be ready. Now, I've got something for you that can absolutely help you with that. On the courses tab on my website, there is the intuition activation webinar. You can watch that back. It's 2 hours. I think it's about 2 hours of just various different exercises and things that you can do. It was a labor of love creating that webinar like nearly 6 years ago now. Scary. But I hope you enjoy it as much as I did creating it. I'll put a link for it down in the description box below. There's some really good, juicy bits in there. Now, that being said, I'm going to break down in two different decks your messages from and this is really about what your dreams are trying to tell you at the new moon and what your dreams are trying to tell you at the full moon. All right, so for the new moon messages, you have, makes sense, right? The R Black deck. This is another thing that I have a love affair with. I have love affairs with everything, everything except people, apparently. So this will be for your new moon messages. And we've got the Rider Waite Smith deck for your full moon messages, right? So we've got the light and dark, the new and the full. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity, and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help us all on our paths to our highest vibrational good. So we're going to start with Aries, and we're going to go all the way around, just like we do. Okay, so for your new moon messages, Aries, what are the new moons trying to teach you? Now, this will be relevant for you now, absolutely, but I think this is probably going to go for about the next 6 months. So keep that in mind. So, Aries, your new moon messages are the Eight of Cups. Your new moon message, or the new moons are trying to show you, Aries, how to walk away from not only what doesn't serve you, but how to walk away from what doesn't, whatever sets you on an emotional roller coaster. So this is basically your soul's way of saying the new moon messages that are coming in for you at this moment in time. They're trying to show you how to let go of and how to release what does not bring happiness or joy, or more importantly, whatever moves you from your center. For the full moon messages, let's have a look. There. All right. You've got the Seven of Pentacles. So the full moons, the messages that are coming in through the full moons, they're trying to show you that your patience and persistence is absolutely required. It's also to say to you, the full moons are spurring you on. If at the moment you're finding things are a little bit sluggish, they're not quite moving in, it's 11:11 as I'm reading this. If they're not speaking to you in the way that you really feel like, if the things that you're working on at the moment are not gaining the traction that you would really like to see, the message behind the Seven of Pentacles is saying that the full moon messages that come in for you are trying to show you that you end up where you would like to be, but your patience and persistence is what's required of you now. Taurus, your new moon messages, you've got the Two of Cups. So the new moons are trying to show you who your collaborators are, who your partners are, who you're meant to be working with, who you're meant to be calling in. It's also trying to show you how to bring balance to your emotional self, how to bring a greater sense of clarity and alignment to the connections that you have. So the new moon messages that are coming in via your dreams over the next, I would say, 6 months are literally that, right? Pay attention to them. Your full moon messages are the Ace of Wands. So, your full moons are trying to show you that creating your dreams, turning your dreams and your goals and your hopes and your visions into material success can absolutely be fun and pleasurable. And it's also trying to show you, I mean, this coupled with the Two of Cups, you better be getting this sexy time, okay? Now, aside from that, the full moon is also trying to show you that the creative vision within you really has merit, that you're being guided towards the fullness of your own creative spark. So for Gemini, you have the Queen of Wands. So the new moons for you over the next 6 months are trying to show you where it is that you need to set clearer boundaries, both for yourself and others. And the new moons are also trying to show you where it is that your vision and your input is actually able to help not just you, but help others get along. The reason I say this is the Queen of Wands is effectively like her Jungian archetype is that of the patroness, right? And so this basically says you are meant to be leading a group of people. You're meant to be creating a community of some sort. And these new moons are really showing you what that actually looks like and how you can start growing it and moving forward with it. The full moons, ooh, all right, the full moons, you've got the Six of Pentacles. So the full moons over the next 6 months are really trying to show you where it is that you can accept more help, but where it is that you can give more help. And in order to bring things into a tangibility, the message here is to really start looking to the material aspect of life. So your money, your finances, your resources, what are the things that you need? And more importantly, are you asking for them? These full moons are really trying to show you how to get what you need, quite possibly in order to do this. Cancer, my lunar brothers and sisters, the new moons are trying to show you how to find your own victory and success. The new moon messages that are coming in over the next 6 months are really about how you make your mark on the world. The new moons over the next 6 months are really trying to show you and to give you little tangible pieces to say it's happening on the daily level. It's happening slowly but surely. You're looking for this really big thing. And I think one of the reasons maybe you're feeling that way is because you've got Jupiter in your sign. So you're like, where is the fucking thunder and lightning? Where is the money falling from the sky? Like you're looking for all of these big things when actually the new moons are trying to show you that it's in the small, everyday moments that the success that you crave is actually being built. Your full moon message is the devil card. Okay, so your full moons are trying to show you where you are stuck, where you are giving away your power. The full moons are also trying to show you that your dedication to things is correct, but the things that you are dedicated to probably need to be reconsidered. All right, I'm going to say that again. Your dedication is correct, but the things that you are dedicated to may need to be revised. Okay, Leo, my ascendant brothers and sisters, you have the Eight of Wands. So your new moon messages, I kind of understand this now. Your new moon messages are saying that you are on a learning trajectory right now, and that when when they say, they say like when the student is ready, the master will arrive. This is to say, you are in the process of becoming the master. All right, so you got to stick with that. It also suggests as well that over the next 6 months, you are going to be called out into the world in some way, shape, or form. And what I mean by this, it could be a change of location, change of home. It could be a change of residence. It could be a change of country. It could be some kind of big travel trip that comes up over the next 6 months that really expands and broadens your horizon. Either which way, the new moon's trying to show you that things are about to speed up. Your full moons are trying to tell you what's coming to an end, what's coming to a completion. The full moons are also a message to say the upward trajectory begins now. As a Leo rising, I can attest to this. It's been a pretty challenging year in some aspects. It's actually been really awesome, and I'm kind of like, oh, this is great. And in others, it's been really challenging. And so that ten of swords as a Leo rising, your message here is the full moons are trying to show you what has really seen its end. There are going to be things that fall away. There are going to be things, people, places, situations that come to a close, that come to an end. And the reason for that is you are stepping into a new cycle, a brand new cycle. And where you go from here is going to be immense. For the Virgos, your new moon message is you've got the Four of Cups. So Virgos, I already see Virgos as very enlightened people. I also see Virgos as very, there's just like a settled stillness within them that's really steady and dependable. It's something that I actually really love about the sign of Virgo. Well, certainly the ones that I know anyway. I know there's a lot of people out there in the comments like, I don't know, like, okay, that's your experience, not mine. Um, right? But for jokes aside, your new moons over the next 6 months are really trying to show you how being more present with where you are at right now is going to manifest faster. What's also being highlighted to you here is the new moon is trying to show you what you actually feel versus what you are performing you feel. All right. And there's something in this, like what I'm hearing as like a thread is there's something that you are not dissatisfied with, but there's something that you're not really as kind of like excited by or whatever as you should be. And you want to get rid of the should part and just say, no, this is actually how I feel. And these new moons are going to help you work through that so that you can really progress. Your full moons, you have the justice card. So the full moon is trying to show you where certain things, places, people, situations have maybe not, well, maybe done you wrong, but also they're trying to show you that the balance is now going to tip to you, right? It's the justice card. It means the full moons are trying to show you where justice is about to be served, where it needs to be served, and where it deserves to be served. The other thing with this as well, it kind of suggests to me that the contracts that you sign, both materially and spiritually, are about to start being highlighted in some very big ways. Libra, you have the Son of Swords. So in this deck, the knights are called the Sons. So this is the Son of Swords. So this is the Knight of Swords. So these new moons are really trying to show you where caution is needed in your actions and how you could be more intentional about the way that you use your energy. And that's not to say that you're doing anything wrong. It's just to say that you're kind of on this, like, I've got to do it, I've got to go for it energy, which I love for you. And you are a cardinal sign after all. But the message behind this is you need to proceed with a bit more caution, not because you're doing anything wrong, but more importantly, so that you can be more present for the whole experience. Your full moons, you've got the Queen of Pentacles. So your full moons are trying to show you, your soul is trying to show you what you need more of to really feel nurtured, nourished, looked after, what your mind, body, and soul are craving in order for you to really succeed, right? And then the other part of the full moon, they're showing you what your time is going to be best spent on. So pay attention. For the Scorpios, my Stinger crew, you've got the Hanged Man. So, for those of you, sorry, for all of you, should I say, your new moon messages for the next 6 months are really trying to show you where you can allow things to unfold as they are without having to do anything. And they're also trying to highlight to you what your self illusory tendencies are. This is not a bad thing and this is not a dig, right? One of the things that I absolutely love about this message for you is that you're getting to see yourself as you truly are rather than, and this is the one of the things that I've noticed about Scorpio people that I really feel bad for them for. People tend to project a lot onto Scorpios. Like, and it's a really strange, like, they're strong enough to withstand it. I mean, hello, most powerful sign in the zodiac, like, duh. Like, they're strong enough to withstand it. They absolutely are. But I really feel that this is one of the reasons, like, I always say, like, with Scorpio, because people say, like, oh, they're really cold and, like, emotionless. And I always say, like, no, then you don't know Scorpio. Scorpio feels at such a deep level that when something hurts, rather than feel it, they just switch it off. If you've ever watched The Vampire Diaries or the originals, oh my gosh, that was my show. Klaus, Marcel. Take a moment, Marcel and Vincent. Really, Ralph, get a grip. Um, I say this because in that show, the vampires, they're able to switch off their humanity. And when they do, they just like they get really like it's kind of scary to behold, right? Scorpio is the same. When you feel at such a deep, intense level, to stop that amount of hurt, they just switch it off. It's like vroom, you will see the cold set in. And that's why, people get that from Scorpio most of the time because you've taken advantage or you've taken the piss. People tend to project a lot onto Scorpio. And so, what this I think is trying to show you is how you actually feel, how you really are, who you really are, what your softness is, and how that's a superpower. And that's what these new moons are trying to reveal to you over the next 6 months. You've got the Seven of Cups for the full moons, right? So your full moons over the next 6 months, Scorpio, are really trying to show you where you need to simplify this process. There's too much on the plate. It's also trying to show you the full moons in terms of what you're trying to manifest. The full moons are trying to tell you your focus, maybe for the first time in your life, is not as clear as you think it is. All right. And the other thing with this card, finally, I want to say this to Scorpios as well. The full moons are trying to tell you, like, you can literally have all of it, just not all at once. Okay? Like, have you ever tried eating, I don't know, let's say, like, when you see, like baked bean ice cream or like caviar ice cream. Like, oh, I can think of anything more disgusting. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, and maybe this is where like my neuro spicy stuff comes in. Like, I can't have certain things touch certain things on my plate. I'm really, really iffy about stuff like that. But like, don't get me wrong. Like, I've had one of those bacon topped glazed donuts. Really nice, surprisingly. But the message here is there's certain things that you're trying to get to mesh or to gel that just don't. And these full moons are giving you breadcrumbs, pieces over the next 6 months to say, stop trying to mix these streams. They don't mix, all right? And you have to be okay with that. For the Sagittarius among you, you have the Nine of Pentacles for your new moons. So, your new moon Saggies are trying to tell you where you need to enjoy life more, where you need to be more present in life, and more importantly, where you really need to let your body lead. It's trying to tell you that the fruits of your labor are meant to be enjoyed now. So, these new moons are going to give you little pushes, little hints to say, pay attention to this one, be present here, be focused there. Your full moons, you've got the Emperor. So your full moons are going to be full on instructions of your battle plan and your execution. So over the next 6 months, the full moons that happen, your dream messages are basically going to be instructions to say, do this at this time on this day. Pay attention. For the Capricorns among you, you have the Ace of Wands, right? Isn't that beautiful? It's one of the reasons that I love this deck so much. It's just so imaginative. So, Capricorns, your new moons are trying to show you that, like, to be more present in your fun, your pleasure, your enjoyment. It's also trying to show you that you are a deeply creative being when the environment allows you to be in that space. And the next six new moons that are coming in for you as a Capricorn, I kind of get the feeling that the message really here is you need to play, and they're going to show you like you should be enjoying this. You should be a bit more childish here, be a bit more, a bit less serious. All right, and I realize I'm talking to Capricorns here. For your full moon messages, you've got the King of Wands. Your full moons and your dream messages around these full moons over the next 6 months are really highlighting where it is that you could they're trying to show you where over the next 6 months you need to really show up for yourself, not for other people, not giving other people agency, but where you really need to show up for yourself. This is kind of like the next 6 months are showing you the parts of your life where you really need to peacock it. All right, like you just gotta. I did that. I did that. Okay. For the Aquarius, my sun sign brothers and sisters, you have the Five of Pentacles. These new moons, these new moons are trying to show you the things that you have earned the right to let go of now. Oh God, sorry. These new moons, if you are an Aquarius, sun, moon, or rising, these new moons, these new moons are showing you what you are able to put down, what you are able to let go of, and what no longer belongs to you to hold. And when you do so, sorry, and when you do so, it's going to provide you with every ounce of energy that you need. Sorry, it's going to provide you with every ounce of energy that you need to make shit happen, quite frankly. Sorry about that. Gosh, that one really hit me. There you go. This is how it works. Your full moon messages, you have the moon. Okay. So your full moons, Aquarius, are really trying to show you, and these are working in tandem, it seems, right? So your full moons and the messages around the full moons are showing you not only what's come to its completion point, but also what part of the past is affecting the present. So pay attention to those full moon messages because they're really going to work in tandem with those new moons for what you're releasing now. I think for the Aquarius people as well, your actual physical body and being is about to start like I got this sneaking suspicion that a lot of you are about to drop a lot of weight, a lot of tension, a lot of it because like the internal stuff is just going to go wrong. And when it goes, I think it's going to take all the stuff that you're carrying with it. For the Pisces among you, you also have the Five of Cups. Oh my God, enough with the emotions, please. Um, so if you are a Pisces, these new moons are trying to show you where the emotions that you have carried up until now that don't belong to you need to be released and let go of. And the new moons are also preparing you to go through a period of soul grieving where you're letting go of what really doesn't serve you on an emotional level. The only way that I can describe this is it's like the new moons are giving you little hints to say, if you let this go, right? If you phase out this emotion, you're going to have so much more internal space. All right. And then finally, your full moon message, you've got the judgment card. Your full moons over the next 6 months are showing you where life is pushing you for more, where life is going to deliver more directly to your door, and where life itself is really saying to you, if you are prepared to close, uh, to basically you're ending one era and stepping into a brand new one. All right, so there are your lunar messages for the next 6 months. So, as always, if the message resonates, if this really spoke to you in some way, shape, or form, and you want more, whether that's through a personal reading or by stepping into or onto any of my tarot masterclasses, again, click the course button on my website. All the details for all of this stuff is going to be below, and I would love to hear from you. Get at me in the comments. Did you like having two cards, for one for the new moons, one for the full moons? Did you, would you have preferred one card instead? Let me know in the comments. Did this resonate with you? How did it speak to you? What really spoke to you? What about your new moon and full moon messages that came up for your sign, your sun, moon, or ascendant sign? Which one of them? How you guys interact with me and what you share in the comments really does help me decide and decipher where I'm going to take the next parts of the content. All right. So it's always great to hear from you. Now, that being said, with that said, I would like to wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic rest of your day, week, month, and year. Make sure you check back on this over the next 6 months and let me know how it spoke to you and how it started to show up. Because I kind of have this feeling that that new moon in Virgo really initiated something for all of us. And I have this really sneaking suspicion that the 6 months that it's going to take us to get to the Virgo full moon is really going to be a time where so much is revealed to us and we are able to use it in really practical and tangible ways. And also, I think it's going to shape our future in some way, shape, or form. With that said, take care and I'll see you soon.